Hello guys. Today, January 9th, 2016, your first full week, first full 7 days of this new year. My name is Doug Gaffney. I'm your ER doctor, which stands for early retirement, because that's what I focus on is, creating ways and helping us all retire early. And I want you guys to first and foremost know that, from my perspective, retirement isn't just about 65 or it isn't just about income. It's really about a mindset. And I'm going to talk to you guys about that in a minute, but I want you guys to understand that that's what I first and foremost focus on. It's a new year, and I like to welcome you to that. I know over the last couple of days, people have been just really thinking about New Year's resolutions, ways they can, create change in their lives and become better, do better than what they did before. And, generally people say that year after year after year. Well, you know what? It is really every single day an opportunity to create elevating change and manifest more opportunity in your life, but you have to deeply desire it and you have to apply actions to get the results you're really looking for. And it has to be consistent with accountable measuring so that way you can stay on track and stay on course of what you so say you desire. All right. So we're going to be talking about some of those things of how you can keep that accountability, and stay on track and really position yourself so that way you can really elevate yourself in life, not just this year or next year, but every single day. This is why this is called the daily grind inspiration report, because I don't care what kind of how you're creating income, whether it be from your job, your business, your investments, your whatever else your hustle in your life that you're doing. You have to focus energy and effort daily. Even your family, you want to grow things daily. So that being said, I want you to understand that you should always focus in bursts. I think and I truly believe that if God, so it says in the Bible, particularly that if God can create the heaven and earth, and create all this stuff within that 7-day period of time, he rested on the seventh day and all these things happen. What could you do within 7 days a week? What can you do to get yourself inch by inch, mile by mile, milestone by milestone closer to your goals? And I'm not just talking about your goals for this year, I'm talking about particularly within the context of wealth. Because again, early retirement is setting yourself up to where you have assets and residual passive income, because we all have those residual bills. Why not start manifesting a residual income life? All right. So, first I'd like to introduce you to, my partners in I's company, which is WTG Wealth Solutions, powered by ERS Premier. Okay. And I want you guys to understand that, we're elite professionals providing premier services, okay, or I like to say solutions within the context of real estate, mortgage, insurance, okay, and also our division home services, where we primarily focus on renewable energy and energy efficiency solutions such as solar. All right. The reason why we're doing this as a company is because these are things that people demand and they need, especially when it comes to the fundamental building blocks of creating and manifesting and growing and protecting your wealth. I firmly believe that, as you entered into this new year, you probably were exiting the last year with a plan. Okay, and I hope you have a plan for this year if you have goals, because how are you going to achieve anything if you don't have a plan in place, right? So we firmly believe that if you say, hey, you know what, I'd like to retire in the next 5 or 10 years or 3 years or 20 years, you should definitely have a sound plan, okay? A sound plan. Hey, the Lord gave us a sound mind, and so we got to go out there and leverage that real estate, that most impressive, important asset in real estate is the 6 inches between our ears. That real estate, okay, we have to go out there and execute with a sound mind, a sound plan. Okay, we have to put a plan in place. And so with our professionals, our elite professionals, we're here to help you develop that. As a matter of fact, we have some great literature and content about what we're doing. Okay, and if you want to learn more, definitely you can check us out on our website. One of them is coffeehouse millionaires, all right, .com, coffeehouse millionaires.com, and also WTG Wealth Solutions.com. Those websites are obviously listed right here, all right. But change begins ultimately within the communities. Elite leadership. Change begins within families. And see, through what we're doing, ultimately our focus and our primary mission objective is to increase social capital and develop the elite leaders within those families so that way we can embellish upon the communities that are surrounding us. All right? That's how we can truly manifest a change that stays and that is deeply embedded and rooted, okay, from generation to generations to come. All right? So that's what we're all about. And I'd like to just share with you guys also a simple project, that I'm launching this year, testing this year, launching, and, we're going to be doing a lot of statistical data on this. But, I believe that, for some of you guys that know me, I'm writing my first book right now. And it's really about creating a new you and creating a change that sticks. A lot of people, they talk about change, they talk about things they want in their lives, and all of a sudden, it's like going to the gym. The beginning of the new year, memberships soar. And then all of a sudden, people are in the gym for the first week or two or month, and all of a sudden they fall off. And they don't never achieve the results that they want because they're not consistent, they're not accountable, and they ultimately do not deeply desire the result. They desire perhaps the chocolate cake and all the rest of that stuff more. They desire that greater than they do the actual result that they're calling their goal. All right, and so in order to create that change, you really have to focus on a couple areas in your life. Okay, so I've broken that down to what I'm calling Project SIPA. Okay, so take a sip of this. All right, I'll take a sip of this smart water here. Joking, but S stands for spirituality. Okay, you have to identify and really focus on some spiritual beliefs and enrichments in your life, because that you have to really develop that deep connection spiritually within yourself. All right, because man, that's going to be the faith and that catalyst that's going to really help you stay the course and make sure that you're really understanding that life is not just about tomorrow or next weekend. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than us. And for some of you guys that again know me as a follower of Jesus, a follower of God, it has definitely hit me in such a major way. And having that spiritual connection in my life and that deep-rooted spiritualness and faith in my life, has helped me as a father, as a friend, as a leader, as a son, as a student, every area of my life. But what it's done is it's helping me develop in the other core key areas that really help us grow as a person, as a leader, and manifest change. Okay, so that's the S. The I is intellectual, okay? Intellectual property or intellectual capital. A lot of us, we want to develop within the areas of our intellectual property. We want to be smarter. We want to get that degree. We want to obtain great education. We want to be more wise. We want to obtain more wisdom, but sometimes, we can leverage that wisdom or that intellectual capital in the wrong way. Or maybe it's for the wrong purpose, or you don't even understand what your purpose truly is. So when you have that spiritual faith, okay, that spiritual faith, it's going to help guide you in this area because, hey, like Einstein said it best in his quote, life is like a bicycle. If you do not maintain balance, you're bound to fall off. And we have to have balance in our life because we know that too much or too little of anything can be harmful and toxic. Going to the gym and working out too hard, you can hurt yourself. You work out too little and you can never achieve the results you're truly looking for. And everyone's different. So in order to manifest that change, the recipe for your success may be different than for me or for someone else. But the bottom line is you got to have that spiritual faith as your guide to really guide you in that area of that intellectual wisdom as you begin to grow and develop and attain that knowledge. All right. Then The P is a physical aspect of it. The physical, developing, of course, physically in the flesh, becoming more stronger and, perhaps physically fit, because obviously you got to be healthy if you really want to appreciate and really enjoy the longevity of your wealthy, right? But I'm not just talking about, physical as far as my form and my strength. I'm just talking about the ways of the world, in the physical world. A lot of times we focus so much on the physical aspects of life, impressing the Joneses, right? Impressing the Joneses and having that car and having this and having that over this. And, it all of a sudden becomes overwhelming. And then you start living paycheck to paycheck and you're wondering why you can never spend and you're in so much debt and things are compounding and you're becoming a victim of debt slavery and the debt is controlling you and your life is out of order. You're like a bathroom. When you're out of order, no one can use you. When you're out of order in life, you can't be used as a tool. The Lord cannot use you as a tool. When you're out of order, you can't even use yourself properly. So when you have that spiritual faith as your guide, when it comes to the physical elements of your life, it's going to help you grow in the direction in which you're destined to grow. All right? And then last but not least, okay, the A is for assets. And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about the assets of good health, the assets of happiness, the assets of joy, peace, love, self-control, right? The fruits of the Spirit, and even the assets, of course, of your wealth. Maybe your real estate or your life insurance or your investments or your 401k, your retirement, right? Those assets, when you have spiritual faith as a guide, it's like, I look at it almost like a cross or like a tree. And I love trees because, a tree I love trees because you see the beautifulness of a tree above ground. But what you really don't see is the things that are growing beneath the surface. And when you think about this, the spiritual faith, that's like your vision. That's like your guide. That's like your light of inspiration, your daily grind inspiration, right? And then, of course, you have your branches, your intellectual growth and your physical growth, right? And then down below, you're growing every single day in your assets, your asset class, your asset properties. But with that spiritual faith, okay, you're going to be able to grow them properly with patience, with virtuous values and ethical and moral beliefs that are your compass. See, you got to stay true to your core, and that's what we're here to help you do. Impact lives, make change, and develop into the person you want to be, because a leader first leads themselves. And when you're able to lead by example and exhibit the qualities of goodness in the world and greatness in the world, you become a beacon of hope, a shining light of inspiration for those around you. And that's how we embellish communities. That's how we develop leadership in families. That's how we impact change and increase social capital. I like to kind of leave you with this. I love this book. This is one great book that I'm reading here. It's called The Art of Power by Thich Nhat Hanh. Okay, hopefully I pronounced that right. He's Vietnamese and I'm me. So, I'm sorry if I messed that one up. But I like to just read this to you. He talks about the 5 mindfulness trainings. I'm just going to share with you the 5th one because I believe it's very powerful. Okay, he says, aware. Okay, the 5th mindfulness training is aware of the suffering caused by unmindful consumption. I am committed to cultivating good health, both physical and mental, for myself, my family, and my society by practicing mindful eating, drinking, and consuming. I am committed to ingest only items that preserve peace, well-being, and joy in my body, in my consciousness, and in the collective body and consciousness of my family and society. I am determined not to use alcohol or any other intoxicant or to ingest foods or other items that contain toxins, such as certain TV programs, magazines, books, films, and conversations I am aware that that to damage my body or my consciousness will with these poisons is to betray my ancestors and my parents and my society and future generations. I shall work to transform violence, fear, anger, and confusion in myself and in society by practicing a diet for myself and for my society. I understand that a proper diet is crucial for self-transformation and for the transformation of society. That right there, this book is so powerful. And this is just, I mean, I was just one little, insert from the book, but you guys can see this is a Buddhist monk. He looks at all the different spiritual, faiths and religions out there. And it's just a very well put together, person and a man that's inspiring people, and he's inspiring me in such a major way, So if you want to read that book, here's the information about that book. Go check it out at your nearest bookstore or whatever you have to do, your library, and definitely digest some great things, because you really have to control what you can control. And what you can control in your environment is what you place in it, on the external, and also what you allow to go inside and be consumed in your real estate here, this mind, your mind. Okay, you have control over that. All right, you have control over that. So create that change and control what you have. That's the freedoms that we live within society here in America. As I wrap up and close, daily activities that help manifest change and elevate your life. Every single day, I always, before I go to bed, I like to read and digest great things like books, okay? But I also follow a specific plan, what I call RIP. And you're thinking, what? Rest in peace. No, I'm talking about, reflect, collect in my input, okay, and plan for the next day. So I like to reflect on what I did this week, because I'm doing this at the end of every night before I go to bed, right? I like to reflect on what I did, good, bad, and everything between, so I can understand how I can get better and experience growth. I like to, provide input from my notes and my daily activities of what I've accomplished, what I said I was going to do, what I did do or what I did not do, what affected that. I want to listen to that input of the actions that happened, not the assumptions, but the actions. Okay, so I can really, number 3, create a plan for the next day so I can consistently improve my activities daily. So, if you'd like to leverage that, I have a great notebook that I use, all right, to keep my daily notes, and I always use that RIP, because I believe that we're dying daily. Believe it or not, we're dying daily. Every day. When we were born, through oxidation and all the things, the elements of the world and the earth, we are starting to age. Okay, we're getting older. We're getting closer and closer to death. And that's just a natural, known fact of life, is we're going to die one day. Okay, so live life elevated. Live each day peacefully with joy, love, and happiness. And live happy, inspiring other people around you, not toxifying your environment. All right, but really focus on that RIP, because we die daily, and we're dying daily of our old self, our old fleshly ways, our old spiritual ways, our negative ways, our toxic ways. We want to kill that old stuff so that way we can birth or rebirth a new you, a new us every single day. And that's the daily growth. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I hope that this information was powerful. I believe it was. And I look forward to seeing you guys within the next 7 days. All right, remember, the question is what can you do? How many people can you help? Who can you inspire? How can you live life more elevated within the next 7 days? I'll see you guys on the next 7th day. Lord bless. I'll see you at the top. Let's live life elevated.